FA Cup quarter-final weekend set to kick off at Goodison Park as Everton prepare to take on near neighbours Wigan Athletic. Both clubs have jousted with lower level opposition to make it this far. Now it's an old Premier League clash with a place in the final four up for grabs. Des Kern and Robbie Musto with you on ESPN. Great as always to have you with us. Opposite ends of the Premier League table. Everton with home advantage and so strong here this season. Most will make them favourites.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've got a good record against Wigan Athletic, and what I like about this tie is that both teams are going to go in with strong lineups, not worrying, forgetting about the Premiership League for one day, and really going to have a go to try and get to Wembley. Of course, semi-finals are held at Wembley in the FA Cup nowadays.
And of course, Manchester City Barnsley to come later. Tomorrow it's Millwall against Blackburn. What an opportunity for those two to make it into the final four. And the big one, Manchester United against Chelsea, both off the back of European defeats during the week. Manchester United's far more damaging. So what reaction from them, we wonder. That to come tomorrow. But to kick us all off, it's Goodison Park and the meeting of Everton and Wigan Athletic. Lineups and the first half on the way.
The champions return with live marquee clashes from the round of 16 decisive leg 2. On Wednesday, Schalke host Galatasaray.
Would you ever believe
with a ticket to the quarters at stake. Then Thursday, another live match as Malaga face Porto. The UEFA Champions League, round of 16, Wednesday and Thursday, exclusively live on ESPN2. Presented by Heineken.
Monday, earthquakes, Red Bulls, the MLS on ESPN2.
Prior to the British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia, get your rugby on for one of the greatest international contests, the RBS Six Nations. 6 teams from 6 countries, including England, France, and Grand Slam winners Wales. 6 nations, 1 crown. RBS Six Nations Rugby, only on ESPN.
The 2013 World Baseball Classic continues from Tokyo, Japan, with live double elimination action from round 2. Monday on ESPN2.
Yes, punters, welcome to the world of Sporting Bet.
At Sporting Bet, we live and breathe sports and racing. It's what we do, day in and day out. We put the punter first, providing top odds and unique promotions on a huge range of markets. And our cutting-edge technology means you can bet anywhere, anytime. So if you're into sports and racing as much as we are, go to sportingbet.com.au today, because there's no better bet than a Sporting Bet.
Welcome back to ESPN. Des Kern and Robbie Musto with you. Kevin Friend leading these sides out onto the pitch at Goodison Park for the first of the weekend's FA Cup quarter-finals. Everton-Wigan, certainly one to look forward to. And both managers not really taking any chances in terms of their starting lineups. Roberto Martinez has used this competition and the League Cup this season to give his fringe players a run out, but much stronger today as expected. A couple of big name absentees for Everton as well, in goal and at the back. And is that something that Wigan might be able to take advantage of? Everton with a very good record, unbeaten in their last 9 against today's visitors. And they've already taken 4 points off them in the Premier League this season. Here are the starting 11s. David Moyes without Tim Howard and Phil Jagielka both injured, so Jan Muka continues in goal and Johnny Heitinga partnering Sylvain Distin at the back. Phil Neville in for Darren Gibson elsewhere as expected.
As expected and bright. When you look at their front players, it's a very good combination, I think. Fellaini's doing a great job playing in behind the striker. Ivica Jelavic, I'm sure, will be preferred to be in better form. He hasn't really played that well this season, but Morales is a very bright and lively player on the outside.
Roberto Martinez hands Antolin Alcaraz a first start since the end of August after his long injury layoff. Joel Robles starts in goal. Jordi Gomez also included, as is Callum McManaman, a former Everton youth. He scored in the last round win at Huddersfield.
Yeah, and of course for Wigan it's a little bit different. It's 3 at the back, which gives them good width, and Emerson Boyce on one side and John Beausejour on the other side. But Arona Kone, a big powerful forward that might just give that little bit shaky, possibly Everton defence some problems.
Everton beaten finalists in 2009 when they led so early in the game through Louis Saha, only to lose it 2-1 to Chelsea, losing semi-finalists last season to Liverpool of all clubs. There is Callum McManaman back at Goodison Park. He was on Everton's books from the age of 7 to 16. He was released, went on to Wigan, appeared in the first team at a very young age, but the manager has used him sparingly. This season has been positive for him. Very positive on the other side for Leon Osman as well, now an England international and a key cog in David Moyes' side. Lots of talk about the managers as well, Roberto Martinez and his approach and what his selection would be today. And David Moyes, he's even asked the question himself this week, now can we win a trophy?
Yeah, I think that's what Everton fans would love, wouldn't they? Another cup final. Of course, David Moyes done such a great job there, but of course never won anything with this football club. I wonder if this year could be Everton's year.
11 years in charge, David Moyes. Next week, most in the game believes he deserves a trophy. You don't always get what you deserve, though, in this game. It can be cruel. Everton's last trophy, last piece of silverware was the FA Cup back in 1995. Paul Rideout's goal against Manchester United when Joe Royle, club legend, was the manager. And in terms of Joe Royle, they've already faced Oldham and beaten them in a replay here. Kone to get up and win the header. Shot from Muka. And Tim Howard has got a real problem with his back, injured in the replay win against Oldham that we've mentioned. Set to miss a couple of big World Cup qualifiers for the USA as well. So Muka made his first appearance in the Premier League and the win here against Reading. All 7 of his Everton senior appearances prior to that had come in the League Cup. Lighting up, rolls it on to Distan, an FA Cup winner in his Portsmouth days. Looks up and looks to go along out to this far side, and Fellaini, a dozen goals already this season. An outstanding campaign for Marouane Fellaini. And here is Kone. Morales tracking back. Seems to have fully recovered from the hamstring problem that kept him out for a couple of months now. Just checked his start to his Everton career. In his return, his manager David Moyes asked for him to contribute more in terms of goals. Scored the opener in that win here against Oldham, scored against Reading as well. So heeding the manager's words, it seems. Here he is on it now. Very tricky customer. Leighton Baines, ex-Wigan. And tidied up by Sharner. And this places a pass to Jordi Gomez. Wasn't expecting that one. Pienaar. Coleman sets off on the right-hand side. Pienaar holds on and looks for the other full-back, Leighton Baines. Just overcooks it. Bright start from Everton.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about some of the new players and Kevin Morales and a few others that have joined this football club, David Moyes spends his money, doesn't get a lot of it, very, very wisely. That's why Everton are doing so well in the Premier League. That's why they continue to always be a threat to the big sides, and Moyes always maintains their physicality, their intensity when they play. Everton's always been a difficult place to go to with good, honest footballers.
Well, Wigan's last opponents were Liverpool. That was on home soil, beaten by 4-0 as Jelavic wins the corner. Well, that was a bit of a low for Wigan, that defeat, considering a big win at Reading prior to that. The thing with Wigan is, of course, that, and David Moyes has been talking about it, a very, very good side on their day. It's just a question of if this will be one of those days. They play some good, attractive football, stuck to their principles in difficult circumstances over the last few seasons. Managed to maintain their Premier League status. And the first bit of sorting out for Kevin Friend to do here. Looks like it's Beausejour and Heitinga who have drawn themselves to his attention. Right in on top of the young Spanish goalkeeper, Joel Robles. Third FA Cup appearance for him this season. Short corner to Baines and back again to Morales. Whips it in, great delivery. And glanced just wide by Sylvain Distin.
Just a little variation here for Everton on the set piece. Just a different angle to bring that ball in. Distin kind of moving away from goal. His momentum's going away, so it's not easy to generate power, but the accuracy is pretty good there. Very close. Also Jelavic there, not too far away. Nice variation.
And Sylvain Distin doesn't score many, just 5 for Everton. Did score in the League Cup loss at Leeds this season. Here's Sean Maloney. Whips it inside Jordi Gomez, who's got the start alongside James McCarthy, ahead of James MacArthur today. Now Kone. His battle today with Johnny Heitinga in particular will be one worth watching when the sides met in the 2-2 at the DW Stadium Earlier in the season, Heiting had taken off at half-time. He'd real problems with Kone. Bosijur. Curl it in, Heiting to head away, tidied up by Neville. Late one from Gomez, advantage allowed here, it's Osman. Pressurised by McCarthy, and free kick conceded.
The thing about Wigan and Roberto Martinez, and we saw it towards the end of last season in the Premier League, that he changed his system to this 3 at the back, and it's awkward, it's different. There's not many teams in the Premier League play with 3/5 at the back. It's kind of 3 up front as well. It's almost like a 3-4-3 system for Martinez, and it's awkward. You know, you've got extra men in midfield, you can still pin the fullbacks back with your wide forwards. Pretty good system.
Mirallas, that's a cannon off the face of Charlotte. There's Neville and Fellaini. Referee's going to stop it, as he's entitled to do, of course, anything involving a head injury.
He went down pretty strongly, didn't he, straight away, poor Sharna. Got a big distance here. I think he could probably get out of the way of that, or make sure he heads the ball. Well, maybe he didn't see it till late there, as the challenge. Emerson Boyce may have just took his eyes off the ball, but straight in the head.
It's a painful one, particularly this early in the game. Very interesting character, Paul Sharner. Brought back on loan after leaving West Brom for Hamburg in the summer. A player who can give you something at both ends of the pitch as well as Sharner. Set pieces, in terms of attacking them, he's good to come up with a goal or two.
Yeah, that's the downside there when the referee stops it. That's why the fans go mad, because you have good possession, probably 30 yards out, and then, you know, it's given back to you, but way back when all the Wigan players are back in their defensive zone. So a little bit frustrating for the fans.
And Everton, as we said at the outset, do have this very good record against Wigan, unbeaten in 9 now. But the 2 games this season, the 2-2 we've mentioned at the DW, it was 2-1 here, 2 tight games. One by Gomez. Osman gets a foot in, flicked on by Bosijur, and now here's Maino Figueroa, the left side of those 3 centre-backs. Maloney, good run from Bosijur. Normally can deliver in these situations, cross towards the back post, away by Baines. Here comes McCarthy, little nudge by Fellaini. Figueroa. Here's Alcaraz, picked up a groin injury in the League Cup game against Nottingham Forest, August 28, and it's his first start since. He's come off the bench in the last 2. In terms of match fitness, he'll be one worth watching today. Baines rides a strong challenge from McManaman. Gomez, nice early delivery. McManaman again. Everton looking to close down quickly. Fellaini. Here's Pienaar. Looking for the early ball forward for Jelavic, who started the season so well, but he's struggled of late. Lost his place in the starting lineup to Victor Anichebe. He won it back after Anichebe picked up an injury, but just 2 goals in his last 16 appearances, Jelavic. McCarthy. Now Boyce. McManaman. Alcaraz in the centre circle, now to the left-hand side, and Bosijur. Figueroa, no pressure. He's allowed to pick a pass here, should have picked a better one. Certainly on to Bosijur.
There's a bad touch there, and you just get a feel that's where Wigan do have that possession advantage. That 3rd centre-half can come out, make the space, almost like a left-back. And then your left wing back is an option for you. You've got Sean Maloney as another attacking option. Players inside. If you get possession of the ball, this system's quite hard to get off you. Of course, where it breaks down and where the weakness is, if there's a quick turnover or tackle made in midfield and you've just got 3 at the back there left with big spaces between them, that's why, you know, it can be vulnerable defensively. I think Wigan's defensive record has been poor. That's why they've struggled this season. That's why they're down towards the bottom of the league. They've conceded too many goals. But Martinez continues to believe in possession and spreading the field and trying to attack teams when he can.
They've certainly got pace in Kone up top if they can get him into the right areas. A really good debut campaign for him so far. He's into double figures, 10 goals, a brace at Huddersfield in the last round. Recent brace in that big league win at Reading. After doing so well on loan at Levante last season. It was a terrific season for the Spanish side, finishing 6th, getting into Europe for the first time. They're still involved in the Europa League. Everton eyeing a European spot next season. Just a little bit of a blip of late. 9 points from the last 7 games. Still in with an outside possibility, certainly in with a chance of a Champions League if they can finish the season strongly. Baines inside to Osman. Slips it forward, Morales does well, and flicked on by Fellaini. Hooked away by Alcaraz. Here's Kone. Support arriving, McManaman off the right-hand side. Now time and space here for Maloney, faced by Coleman. Into the penalty area, back outside again, looking for that bottom corner, off the post and away. So unlucky, almost magical for Maloney.
Oh, what an attempt this is. The biggest moment of the game so far. Great counter-attack from Wigan here. Good space, Maloney on the left-hand side. A right-footed player, of course. And this is just clever. It really is. Goalkeeper, absolutely no idea Muka there. Jan Muka doesn't even move for this ball. Look at that, just staring at it as it goes by him. He looks baffled how and why this shot comes in. Sure, Maloney is a talent, you know, and he's got a big admirer in his manager there, Roberto Martinez, saying he's one of the best attackers in the Premier League. And what a good effort that was.
And on another day, that rebound might have fallen kindly for Kone, who was in there sniffing. And a let-off for Everton. Outstanding piece of individual work for Maloney. Pinar's offside here.
He's going to try and argue here, but the assistant, of course, is seeing that. He's seeing the ball being played. It's right in front of his nose. Just a little bit of frustration around Goodison Park right now. Good start from Everton, but just struggling to maintain possession and to sustain attacks. And that's because of Wigan's football, because of their possession. Their options they've got right here as well on this near side has been pretty good.
And would you agree, Robbie, given that a lot of Everton supporters might be looking at this draw and how far they've gone and what might come yet, that there's a pressure on Everton, certainly to win this game, if not to go on and win the competition?
I think so. I think the dream of the top 4 is probably gone, but why not? They're in a great spot in the Premier League. They should be fine to finish in Europa spots. Why not absolutely, totally give it your everything now? Quarterfinals of the FA Cup. The fans want days out. They want to go to Wembley. They want to win things. The players want to pick up medals and trophies. So absolutely for Everton, really should be going for this.
Well, he's certainly capable, Figueroa. Did it at Stoke a few years ago from the halfway line pretty much. So he backs his power.
Yeah, and this is the 3rd central defender. And look where he is. That's how keen they are to get forward, to play the game in their opponent's half. Figueroa, absolutely, you can never forget that goal. Incredible strike from miles out. But a good start from Wigan.
Good cup tie so far. Still awaiting the breakthrough goal. We've come close. Neville. And back to Muka, who's happy to take a touch. Has played on the big stage. Jan Muka played in the 2010 World Cup with Slovakia. Every game for them there. It's just a question now of how long Tim Howard is going to be out for. They've got an 18-year-old Mason Springthorpe as their reserve goalkeeper today. Alcaraz. Another who has that World Cup experience behind him, Alcaraz, with Paraguay. Test for him here against Jelavic.
Well, Everton, I don't mind playing the odd long ball into the channel. Jelavic, a very willing runner. Great attitude to the game, the big striker. And that just puts Wigan on the back foot.
Oh, Gladys Street end with roaring Everton forward here. And he's an obvious target. And James McCarthy standing just in front, Sharner behind Fellaini.
Just to stop him getting in front as a play develops here. Can try and do it.
It's Baines, deeper towards the back post. Well, Jelavic was climbing, never really had it under control. Dave Whelan has been involved with Wigan a long time now. Brought the club when they were in the 3rd division back in 1995. Really started to go right when Paul Jewell took over in 2001. Got themselves up thanks to the goals of Jason Roberts and Nathan Ellington back in 2005. Ever present since. There have been a few scares, a few tight ones. Last 3 seasons, 16th, 16th and 15th, and they finished last season so well. 7 wins in their last 9. And they again look doomed at a certain point. Here's Maloney again. Ball fizzed in by Beausejour. Disguised ball, Jordi Gomez to the end line, and Wigan win the corner.
Well, the good play, the good football continues from Wigan. They certainly at the moment look the better team. More progressive. They're certainly passing the ball better. And getting into the final third a lot more than Everton are. But of course, as we know in this game, that's not always important, and Wigan's position in the league table will show you that. But at the moment, they're on top.
And a chance now for the big men to push forward. Alcaraz is in there, Fellaini detailed to do a job on him. Short option looks to be covered as Coleman comes out, so Beausejour. Who does he aim for here? McManaman towards the near post, goes deeper than that. Headed back across goal. No one on the end of that.
I found it a little bit difficult, Everton, from these areas, just to connect the midfield with those front players. You know, hardly anything of Morales on the left and Pinar on the right. And you have to, through your fullbacks for the most part, and central midfield players, as Phil Neville here is one of those guys, to come out here and just start getting these forwards involved.
Towards Fellaini, brave header from Alcaraz. Tidied up by Figueroa and away by Joel Robles. Just wonder to that extent, as you say, Everton struggling to knit something together going forward. The decision to leave out Darren Gibson today. He's gone for Phil Neville in there alongside Leon Osman, so maybe even more of an onus on Osman.
Yeah, because I think Darren Gibson, he's not an outstanding footballer, but he knits play together very well. He's a footballer. He always wants the ball off the back four. Not that Phil Neville doesn't, but I just think he's a little bit cuter in the way that he plays the game. Phil Neville, let's remember, he's a fullback. He's a defender, not a midfield player, and it takes time really to get the feel of what you're doing there. And there's a natural ability as well of midfield players just to look forward and try and knit things together. Osman can do it. Just gets caught out here a little bit. McCarthy winning that battle.
Well, he's still pleading his case, Leon Osman. Kone looking to show for it to feet. I think Haiti will be quite happy when he's that close to him and the ball is coming into those areas. He can perhaps physically deal with him. Slip here by Coleman. Chance for Maloney to capitalise. Gets his head up, gets his cross in. Kone attacking it and flashes his header over.
That good spell continues from Wigan Athletic. There's the slip. Sean Maloney, of course, has to deliver. His head is up and he does deliver. That's a great ball in. Exactly where the striker wants it. Just a little bit too high. He can't get over the top of this header. But again, bright attacking play down this side for Wigan.
Roberto Martinez, given the way they've gone, particularly in the last 10 minutes, he'll be looking for that goal now. Come close on a couple of occasions, Maloney and Kone. And since they lost here on December 26th, good record on the road, 5 wins, 2 draws, just the 1 defeat. McCarthy under pressure, Morales and Fellaini converging. Jelavic, smart stop, got down quickly to his right hand side. Joel Robles. first real sight of goal for Nikita Jelavic. Pienaar for Everton. Baines pushing on. You won't find him with a ball like that. Furious with himself, Stephen Pienaar.
Yeah, just get caught out here a little bit. When you look at Wigan defensively, you know, just look at that last play. Jean Beausejour is basically in midfield. He's allowing, or he's letting these three central defenders deal with everything. You know, at this wing-backs, it's not all about going forward and possessing the ball. You've got to get back there and almost act as normal fullbacks when you need to. And Shana, Alcaraz and Figueroa, as a three central defenders, need help at times.
Heitinga flips it forward, stands it up for Fellaini. Time to take a touch and spread it wide for Coleman, who's got the pace to get there. He's won the free kick as well, conceded by Maynor Figueroa. Good position this now for Leighton Baines.
Yeah, just chips that front leg, I think, doesn't he? He's done a good season. Seamus Coleman making that right back his position now. Good attacking player. Of course, he can play as a midfield player as well on the right-hand side.
This is certainly Baines' territory. Fellaini looking to give himself a running start against Sharner. Robles comes for it and gets something on it. Fellaini. Boyce at his back. Pienaar. Osman available. Trying to shake off the attentions, very close attentions of James McCarthy. Pienaar holds on, Osman again. Looking for width, he's given it straight to Maloney. And the break might be on here through the pace of Coney on the left-hand side, but he's offside.
Well, that's where he wants the ball. Transition. Everton, everybody forward for the most part here. He finds the space. He's on the halfway line, isn't he? He can't be offside if he's on that halfway line. That's a harsh decision.
Well, that would have been interesting had play been allowed to go on there. Looks like it should have been. Heitinga had some ground to make up. Just a little bit of an uncertain first half of the first half for Everton. Wigan have never made the semi-finals of the FA Cup, just their second time in the quarter-finals. Back in 1987 they lost 2-0 to Leeds when they were in the third tier. A year when the final was won by Coventry City, that most dramatic of games against Tottenham. I think we all remember Keith Houchin's diving header, Gary Mabbutt with the own goal. Just one story that really perfectly illustrates the magic of this competition.
Yeah, and just when you say that, you know, just the memories of it seem to, for me, to be stronger ones way back. You know, it's almost in recent history that it's kind of just gone under the radar a little bit with the advent and the way the Champions League has dominated everything. But the FA Cup is massive. It's a huge competition.
Big win by Sharner. Here's Jelavic on the turn. Difficult chance.
Steps back onside there. Fraction offside possibly. Fellaini. But just back on the FA Cup. I mean, I wonder what the Everton fans would prefer. Top four finish, Champions League football, or to win an FA Cup. I think it'd be the latter, I've got to say that. I think it would be a day out at Wembley. Fantastic days.
Well, they got to Wembley last season in the semi-finals. Cruelly, from their point of view, it was to be Liverpool to beat them. Liverpool lost the decider to Chelsea. Will be in action tomorrow at Manchester United. What a big game that will be. I'll join myself and Robbie for it. Pienaar inside to Baines. Decision time here. Went for goal, and Sharner with a great block. Here's Phil Neville. A rare effort on goal from him. And perhaps, dare we say, with respect to Phil Neville, the expected end results.
But this is quality, this is the class, and this is what Everton fans have seen all season long. Leighton Baines combining with Stephen Pienaar on that far side. Yeah, Never really troubling the goalkeeper, but that's where he's been so good, Leighton Baines. That's why he's a national team player. Good run.
Played in a League Cup final in his Wigan days. Leighton Baines, a 4-0 defeat to Manchester United, a team that included the likes of Jimmy Bullard as well. Fantastic signing, though, you'd have to say, for Everton, and for Manny, the best left back in England. Strong challenge, McManaman and Fellaini. Callum McManaman, born and raised in Huyton. They raise you up. You have to be able to handle yourself in the football pitch around there, don't you?
Yeah, he wasn't afraid there, was he, of way over 6 foot Marouane Fellaini, who hasn't really got into the game, Des, has he? He's been, again, a big story for Everton this season. In that higher position, of course, he can play in the centre of midfield in the regular spot, but no, such a threat going forward. His size, his power, plus his good touch. He's a midfielder's touch up there, and just Everton haven't got him in the game so far.
Sharner's made a good start. He won another physical battle there against Jelovic. Here's Bosijur. Backed up by Gomez. Looking for Bosijur again. And it's a ploy they've tried on a few occasions, and had the final ball been a little bit better, Bosijur would have another crossing opportunity.
They attempt to build up from the back each time, Everton, but it kind of looks a little stodgy. That's what ends up happening for the most part, and more of a longer pass, and then they'll try and pick up the second balls, which they haven't here.
You can just sense a little bit of unease, perhaps amongst the Everton supporters, who were maybe expecting their side to come out and dominate this game. Hasn't quite happened. So much credit for that down to this bold approach from Wigan. Lumped forward, heighting up. Back with Muka. And he puts his laces through that one. Long clearance downfield. Well, Fellaini retreating from an offside position.
They just look a little dejected, don't they, Everton? They look a little frustrated. No rhythm. They haven't managed to get the fans really involved too much. And that's credit to this man and his tactics and his team, the way they're passing the ball. They're frustrating Everton. I think if you're an Everton fan, you look at the game, you're thinking, hang on a minute, who's at the bottom of the league and who's towards the top?
Late one from Gomez. He got away with one earlier. There may be some sanction to follow. Referee has allowed a good advantage, though. Mirallas. Here is Fellaini. First touch was loose. Picked up by Sharner, Bosijur, now Figueroa. A couple of players now have lost their footing in the first half. A little bit greasy underfoot.
Well, he wants a free kick here. Bosijur feels there was a little bit of a strong arm on him. And Figueroa it was who just slipped there, and it's a little awkward between the two of them here. Is there enough contact? Probably is. Probably is there. Just a shove from Kevin Morales. Not sure they got it.
Yeah, I think the referee just explaining that well, the assistant might have given it Morales' way, but he saw it a little bit differently. I think he's right. I think he can go further forward than that, but the officials know the crowd. They're not going to let him do so. That's a late one by Coleman. And the frustration levels continue to go around Goodison Park.
Yeah, again, just a little clumsy. Seamus Coleman there, not really going for the ball, just trying to put his shoulder on the opponent. There's big stakes, though. Semi-final of the FA Cup at Wembley Stadium. It is big stakes. Big pressure on these players. Now, when you're the home side against a team that's struggling, you're expected to dominate and score goals.
Short free kick, Bosijur and Gomez between them. Maloney's there as well. Gomez with time to measure this. Heitinga headed away. Here's McCarthy. Well, he took it on the half volley. Not quite sure how late Muka would have seen that, but he dealt with it.
It took forever, it seemed, to cross that ball in, but this is brilliant, by the way. Fantastic half volley, leaning away, going towards the top corner. It's great play from James McCarthy.
Just a couple of goals to McCarthy, the Republic of Ireland international this season, both in the same game at December breaks in a 2-2 against QPR. Here's the corner by Gomez, good delivery as well, and it's in! Breakthrough has come for Wigan Athletic, and it's Maynor Figueroa. He's found his scoring touch. Scored in the league win at Reading and strikes again here. They've been knocking on the door, Wigan, and they have found a way through.
Well, it comes because of the great shot and good save. They forced the corner kick. He just pulls away from Osman, I think it is, who's marking him, which is a bit of a mismatch. Distan as well is in there also. He's on Shana. So we'll take a look from a different angle here. I think it is, you know. I think it's Willian Osman that's picking up the goal scorer towards the back post. There's plenty of movement there, and he's a big guy, Figueroa. Left-sided central defender. Look at that. A big smile on the face of Roberto Martinez.
Well, a real scramble in front of Muka. He was never getting there. And Wigan will feel that's the goal that they deserve here. They've hit the post through Sean Maloney. Kone's headed one over. Very much on target, Maynor Figueroa, and they're coming again. It's McManaman with pace, and a chance for a second, and he's taken it. What a story this, 2 goals in as many minutes. And it's the former Everton youth, Callum McManaman. Scored at Huddersfield, an even bigger goal at Everton, and Wigan 2 to the good.
Wow, 1 or 2 minutes for Wigan Athletic. Awful, awful error in midfield. I think it's Phil Neville that plays a horrendous ball. There it is, that right into the path. It's an assist. Doesn't he do well, McManaman here? Good composure, good pace to get away from the last defender, who's not getting back Distan, who's a quick player. Look at that, he realises it right there, that it's all going through his mind. Muka comes out, clever little lift, a little raise there as he's just going away from goal. That is huge for Wigan. What a good goal, but what an error in Everton's midfield.
That is a peach of a goal from Callum McManaman. Born and raised an Everton supporter, released by the club as a 16-year-old. Coming back to haunt them here. And what now for Everton? 2-0 down, struggling to find a rhythm. Frustration levels growing. We've got a couple screaming at the referee here. And David Moyes needs to get a handle on his side here. He needs some of his big characters to step up now.
Yeah, his big players are just not playing. They're just not playing well. Too many passes that are rolled out of play. You know, bad errors there, bad marking from the set piece, bad decision from Phil Neville with the ball across there. Awful pass, right in the path of Callum McManaman. Everton have got to get it going. This is the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. They're at home against Wigan, with just goal difference away from the bottom 3 relegation zone in the Premier League.
Here's Morales. His touch was loose, but you look at the Callum McManaman story, beyond the Everton connection, it's how Roberto Martinez has used him this season, and it's been mainly in the FA Cup. He's been involved in all 5 games now. Scored in the last round at Huddersfield, scored again here, and they're looking for another, and they've got another. Jordi Gomez. Wigan running riot at Goodison Park. 3 goals in 3 minutes. This is sensational.
Look at Dave Whelan. Wow, what a goal this is, by the way. You talk about striking the ball early, catching the goalkeeper and everybody in the stadium, by the way, out with an early shot at goal. First time he's a left-footed player. How about that? That is genius, by the way. Just to realise that, you know what, if I just cushion this ball around those 2 defenders, the goalkeeper, Muga's probably not going to get across. He's not going to read it. The body angle as well just means that ball is going to curve in, and that gets Dave Whelan, the owner, chairman of this club, out of his seat.
A gorgeous goal from Jordi Gomez, and they are eyeing up Wembley now. They've blitzed Everton. Real sense of disbelief around the ground now. What has happened in the last 3-4 minutes?
Look at them. They just got no idea where to go. Seamus Coleman, I always hate to see it, but it's pretty you know, when he looks up and he puts his arms in the air to say, where do I go? I've got nobody to pass it to. I hate to see it, but he's showing that Everton are really, really struggling. They're kind of in between trying to play out, and Everton of old that's more direct, that's just at the back. Just get it up to the front players and they'll play from there.
Well, I don't think they're leaving the ground. I think they're just stepping away to try and gather their thoughts, some of those supporters. They'll be underneath those stands, listening for a roar and hoping it's not the one that's been coming from the Wigan supporters. Pienaar taken down by McCarthy. What a story developing here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think there's going to be a reaction from Everton. I think we've got a right good game on our hands now. There's no way that David Moyes and these players and these supporters are going to let this die. They're going to come back in. They're going to be a problem to Wigan. A goal before half-time, of course, will be crucial for Everton.
It's just the second time they've conceded 3 goals in any competition this season. A 3-3 here against Villa. Robles does well to take command of that situation. Here's Neville, hunted down by Beausejour. Maloney there as well. From Roberto Martinez's point of view, beyond his wildest dreams, I'm sure. 3-0 up, 10 minutes to go to half-time.
I mean, you look at it and play in the first half, and I don't want to say it because it's been said many times before, but when you see a team playing as well as this, you think, how are they down in the bottom 3 or 4 places? And it's just remarkable how well they've played here in this first half.
Fellaini puts it in their percentage ball, really hoping rather than expecting someone to be on the end of it.
Well, it's painful right now. I still think Everton are in this game. I know it sounds crazy at 3-0, but defensively Wigan have been poor. If Everton get one back, this place is going to start jumping. They're going to knock the ball forward. Fellaini's going to get involved. Jelavic. I could be wrong. Let's see what happens.
Booming ball forward by Distin. Fellaini with the flick on. Didn't quite link up with Morales. Here's Coleman. And again, rides the challenge of Maloney. Osman. Shifts it on to Distin. Nice early ball for Baines. Good position to put him into, but Boyce has defended it well. I just wonder at this stage, at this rate, if you might see some changes from David Moyes at half-time. Pienaar. Little disguise ball is a wonderful one for Baines, looking for the cutback. Sharner's there, with plenty bodies back to defend it. Neville to put it back into the mix once more. Boyce to head away.
Yeah, Phil Neville's getting a little bit of stick, isn't he, off the fans? Made that bad error. He's made a few bad passes, Phil Neville. But he's an experienced guy. Strength of character needed now to continue.
3 times an FA Cup winner with Manchester United. Perhaps his dreams of adding to that with Everton starting to slip away here. Still a long time to go in this game. But a big mountain to climb. Neville to put it in. Fellaini to attack it. And it's away by the man who opened the scoring, Figueroa. Here's Kone. Good strength to hold on. McManaman back to Boyce. Looking for Kone. The screen from the Everton bench is for offside. He wasn't. And Wigan have to throw it.
Goal scorer, or one of the goal scorers, Callum McManaman. Just try and get through this last few minutes, 7 minutes or whatever now for Wigan. We'll be absolutely delighted, Roberto Martinez. Looks like he's done.
Very disappointing for Callum McManaman. A fabulous day for him up to this point. Beausejour, that's not a good challenge. And decision time here for the referee. Frustration levels, certainly.
Bad challenge. Bad challenge. Frustration in the back of Beausejour.
Second leg as well from Neville.
It's going to be yellow, I think, but I tell you what, not far off a red for me, that one.
Miachi, who's just come back from injury, is the man who's going to come on loan from Arsenal. He's had his injury problems this season, just one start in the League Cup, 5 appearances off the bench. They've not seen much of him. McManaman will be bitterly disappointed to have gone off, but if you're going to go off, it's the right circumstances, I guess, to go off in your side 3-0 up, and you've got one of the goals against your former club. Hopeful now that the rest of his side can see this through. Fellaini, Everton needs someone to grab this game by the scruff of the neck and force their side back into it. And it's just not happening, is it?
Wrong time to try a back heel. Not on Fellaini. Again, pretty obvious frustration here from the Everton fans. This time, Leon Osman is going to get himself in the book. Those are 2 central midfield players. You talked about substitutions. There are options there. Thomas Hitzlsperger for Everton. Darren Gibson, of course, left out for this match. So there's players on the bench that David Moyes could bring in for those 2.
Confirmation of the yellow card for Leon Osman. So the central midfielders, Samaritan, both on a caution now. Kone and Maloney. For a vibrant Wigan athletic, Bosijur to wrap his left foot around it. He's got the corner. As you said, Rob, it's so difficult to fathom Wigan's league position when you see them play like this.
Oh, the stats will show you that defensively they've been poor. But when they get the ball and when they can dominate possession and they can have good territory like this, then that's not an issue. They've conceded nothing. There's no chances for Everton. I've got in my notes here that they've created. So totally dominated so far. But I say so far because we know where they are. We know where their weaknesses are. Everton will need a goal before half-time.
And they've got to keep their heads here as well. We saw the challenge from Phil Neville. We've Heitinga now getting involved with Boyce. A couple of yellow cards shown. Maloney puts it in with pace to the back post. Fellaini had to win that header. Pinar scampering to keep it in play, which he's managed to do. Tied to his own end line though. He's found a good out ball. It's Fellaini. Pinar there to offer assistance. And again, he's dwelt on it and he's been robbed by Boyce. Sharner holds on. Boyce again. Here's Miachi. First chance to show what he can do to the end line. He's got his cross in. Sharner looking to hook it goalwards. It stayed in play. Maloney. Back to Bosijur. Maloney once more. Sparkling football in this first half from Wigan. Real confidence about them as well. No surprise given they scored 3 times in pretty much 3 minutes.
Miachi's just come on. He's a good player and a good guy to bring on at his injury issues. He was outstanding, I thought, for Bolton last year on loan from Arsenal. Heavily involved already, Miachi.
Dug out by Kone, McCarthy, and Gomez, who scored an absolute peach of a third. Bosijur inside, options always for Wigan. And Maloney was goal side and Morales wrong side. And more descent.
Well, again, it's the same story. And it all comes around because Wigan have been good with the ball. They've kept the ball very well. Good system. They've been expansive. They've had width. They've had depth. Midfield players that have made good decisions on the ball. Good movement. And Everton have got fed up of just chasing the ball, chasing shadows at times. And what's been impressive as well from Wigan is that the football has led to chances. Of course, we've had a hit the post. Another good shot earlier on. Dominated this first half.
An Everton side that you'd have to fancy is desperate for the half-time whistle at this stage, at 3-0 down. Maloney and Gomez over it. Amuka crouched about a yard off his line here. Not much he could have done with any of the goals. Boyce looking to obscure the goalkeeper's line of vision. Maloney looking for the top corner. And Muka had to get a hand on that.
Well, he's not going for this shot, Sean Maloney. He's just trying to fizz it in towards the back post, but that is absolutely going in the top corner. And Muka, full strength here just to take it away. That would be an awful embarrassment for Everton if that would have went in as well.
He got a good hand on it, Jan Muka. Did you ever think we'd be saying it as we tick towards half-time? Wigan hunting a fourth goal here. Hooked into the near post, Jelavic with an improvised clearance. Maloney right on top of Pino. How do they gather themselves for what has to be an incredible second half revival now from Everton if they're to keep their dreams of silverware alive? Lighting up, lifts it forward, headed away by Figueroa, now Coleman. 3 minutes to be added on at the end of this first half. 3-goal deficit for Everton. Distan rolls it to Osman, turns around and he's faced by two, McCarthy and Gomez. And Fellaini, who has struggled to make an impact so far. Distan. Baines is off and running. Miachi will have to defend, but the angle made that a very difficult ball to play.
Yeah, we've seen that so many times. Just a loose touch, a bad pass, bad weight on it. Baines, of course, is a very good player going forward, but he's had limited chances. Everton haven't kept the ball very well.
It's a big part of their game. Baines on one side and Coleman on the other, but with the wing-backs, Wigan have managed to negate them. Not giving them many opportunities. Here's Osman. Tries to force it through. Miachi back there. It's close to half-time. Wigan will be just mindful of doing nothing silly here. Sharner. Well, that will do. Chance to regroup and reorganise. Fellaini. Here's Morales. Now Baines. Morales again on that right foot of his. Not what he was intending.
I mean, sometimes as a manager, you just wonder. I mean, it's just so many Everton players are playing poorly. Wherever you look, they're just not playing well. And that's difficult sometimes as a coach to figure that out. They should be prepared. This is a big game, an opportunity for them. They're experienced players. They're a good side. They've had a good season. They're just not getting it done in this first half. Again, just loose passing.
Final minute of this first half, and what a half it has been for Roberto Martinez's side. Happy now to just knock it around at the back. Sharner, who's been a real steady influence back there. McCarthy is the runner from midfield. Distan will have to deal with this. Clearance picked up by Gomez. Osman and now Fellaini. Miachi in the way, and he's there a second time as well. And he'll chase Baines here. Kept his head, found Distan.
Just saying, there's a silence around the stadium right now. You know what's going to come in a few seconds when the half-time whistle. Get ready for some boos for the Everton players.
I wonder, will that drown out the cheers of the Wigan, the 2,000 who've travelled? Here we go. And David Moyes scampers for his dressing room. The Everton supporters, Everton players might be well advised to do likewise. What a first half for Wigan Athletic. Maynard Figueroa heading them in front on the half hour. So soon after, Callum McManaman, who was to go off injured, with a second. Jordi Gomez with a third. And Wigan Athletic eyeing a first ever spot in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. 3-0 up at half-time.
Prior to the British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia, get your rugby on for one of the greatest international contests, the RBS Six Nations. 6 teams from 6 countries, including England, France, and Grand Slam winners Wales. 6 nations, 1 crown. RBS Six Nations Rugby, only on ESPN.
The champions return with live marquee clashes from the round of 16 decisive leg 2. On Wednesday, Schalke host Galatasaray.
Would you ever believe
with a ticket to the quarters at stake. Then Thursday, another live match as Malaga face Porto, the UEFA Champions League, round of 16, Wednesday and Thursday, exclusively live on ESPN2, presented by Heineken. The power of sport, the potency of the punch, sweat, effort, courage. Gladiators seeking glory. Friday night fights, all season long on ESPN and ESPN2.
You're in Oz.
It's like no place I've ever seen.
I'm Theodora the Good Witch.
Where's your broom?
You don't know much about witches, do you? Are you the great man we've been waiting for? Come, wizard.
I've waited for you to set things right.
This wicked witch, how wicked is she?
Monday, Earthquakes, Red Bulls, the MLS on ESPN2.
At the BNP Paribas Open at Indian Wells, the ATP World Tour Masters 1000 returns to ESPN in grand style. Djokovic, Federer, Murray, and Nadal lead an all-star field of the best in men's tennis. The BNP Paribas Open at Indian Wells. Coverage begins live Sunday on ESPN, the home of the ATP World Tour Masters 1000.
The 2013 World Baseball Classic continues from Tokyo, Japan, with live double elimination action from round 2. Monday on ESPN2.
Welcome back to ESPN. Wigan Athletics' last outing was in the Premier League against Liverpool, beaten 4-0 at home. But what a reaction there's been to that. It's Merseyside opposition again for them today in the FA Cup. They are 3-0 up at Goodison Park against Everton at half-time. Stunning first half from Roberto Martinez's side. Des Kern and Robbie Mustoe with you. And let's look back on the 3 goals. And the avalanche began right on the half-hour.
Well, it really did, and this was a spectacular header. The corner was made from a good bit of football from Wigan Athletic, and that's just a simple header down into the ground, textbook stuff, and really reward for Wigan's start to this game. Look at that, there's a mismatch at the back post there. Leon Osman, it is the midfield player that's up against him, just gets caught with a flight in the air. 1-0 Wigan.
Beautifully placed by Figueroa, and there was more to come, all stemming from an Everton mistake here. And Phil Neville with an ill-advised pass that split his defenders. Callum McManaman, the former Everton youth, and what a classy and composed finish that was.
It's a great finish, it really was. Of course, it takes an awful pass from Phil Neville right here. He's just trying to keep this ticking over to rotate the ball. Bad mistake, good speed here from McManaman. And how about that for a finish as well? He's going flat out here, by the way. It's not always easy to stroke the ball where you want it. A quick look up there at the goalkeeper. He just raised it over the top of Nuka into the corner.
And worse was yet to come, and it was to be another brilliantly taken goal, this time Jordi Gomez.
Yeah, and this is the pick for me, pick of the 3 goals. Kone just does I mean, that is just, it's just special. It really is, and Leon Osman there's probably the closest player to close him down, but just to realise that there's plenty of pace on the ball, so he's just got to direct it. Placement is key. To score goals, you haven't got to blast the ball. I just love that goal, I think it's classy.
Well, by my reckoning, you're looking at 3 goals in about 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Incredible from Wigan. And what an opportunity now. They are primed for a place in the semi-finals of the FA Cup for the first time in their history.
The FA Cup continues on ESPN2 with more live matches from the 6th round proper. Today, Man City try to put an end to Barnsley's miracle run. And later tonight, Millwall host Blackburn Rovers. Followed by a classic from Old Trafford Man United take on cup holders Chelsea. The FA Cup, live this weekend on ESPN2. Prior to the British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia, get your rugby on for one of the greatest international contests, the RBS Six Nations. 6 teams from 6 countries, including England, France, and Grand Slam winners Wales. 6 nations, 1 crown. RBS Six Nations Rugby, only on ESPN.
The champions return with live marquee clashes from the round of 16 decisive leg 2. On Wednesday, Schalke host Galatasaray.
Would you ever believe
with a ticket to the quarters at stake. Then Thursday, another live match as Malaga face Porto, the UEFA Champions League, round of 16, Wednesday and Thursday, exclusively live on ESPN2, presented by Heineken.
ESPN is the home court of college hoops. The regular season concludes with a full night of big games from the hardwood. It all begins in the Big 12, where Baylor must win to stay in the hunt for an NCAA tournament bid when they host Kansas. Later, we save the best for last. Duke against North Carolina in a marquee matchup from the ACC. Feel the magic of college basketball, live Sunday on ESPN2.
The power of sport. The potency of the punch. Sweat. Effort. Courage. Gladiators seeking glory. Friday night fights, all season long on ESPN and ESPN2.
The 2013 World Baseball Classic continues from Tokyo, Japan, with live double elimination action from round 2. Monday on ESPN2.
Monday, Earthquakes, Red Bulls, the MLS on ESPN2.
Well, the FA Cup has been Chelsea's preserve in recent seasons, but if the defending champions are to keep a hold of their title, they will have to do a job at Manchester United tomorrow. Fascinating quarter-final in store. Manchester United looking to rebound from the Champions League exit at the hands of Real Madrid. And of course, so many stories with Chelsea. And we've got Rafa Benitez going back to Old Trafford as well. So much to talk about in that one. Myself and Robbie will be with you for it. That one to come tomorrow. But a big second half ahead for Everton. They need a response. Wigan prime for the semi-finals.
Prior to the British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia, get your rugby on for one of the greatest international contests, the RBS Six Nations. 6 teams from 6 countries, including England, France, and Grand Slam winners Wales. 6 nations, 1 crown. RBS Six Nations Rugby, only on ESPN.
The power of sport. The potency of the punch. Sweat. Effort. Courage. Gladiators seeking glory. Friday night fights all season long on ESPN and ESPN2. The champions return with live marquee clashes from the round of 16 decisive leg 2. On Wednesday, Schalke host Galatasaray
Would you ever believe
with a ticket to the quarters at stake. Then Thursday, another live match as Malaga face Porto. The UEFA Champions League, round of 16, Wednesday and Thursday, exclusively live on ESPN2. Presented by Heineken.
Monday, Earthquakes, Red Bulls, the MLS on ESPN2.
The FA Cup continues on ESPN2 with more live matches from the 6th round proper. Today, Man City try to put an end to Barnsley's miracle run. And later tonight, Millwall host Blackburn Rovers. Followed by a classic from Old Trafford, Man United take on cup holders Chelsea. The FA Cup, live this weekend on ESPN2.
The 2013 World Baseball Classic continues from Tokyo, Japan, with live double elimination action from round 2. Monday on ESPN2.
ESPN is the home court of college hoops. The regular season concludes with a full night of big games from the hardwood. It all begins in the Big 12, where Baylor must win to stay in the hunt for an NCAA tournament bid when they host Kansas. Later, we save the best for last. Duke against North Carolina in a marquee matchup from the ACC. Feel the magic of college basketball live Sunday on ESPN2.
Incredibly close race. Great move out of the starting gate. Oh, a little smoke. He's going to get the strike first, and he's going to go into the team. 277 miles an hour.
Welcome back to ESPN Goodison Park. The vast majority of those in attendance today trying to come to terms with what they saw in that first half of this FA Cup quarter-final, digesting a half-time scoreline of Everton 0, Wigan 3. Not been used to that this season here at Goodison Park, where Chelsea are the only visiting side to have won so far. Swansea the only visiting side to have kept a clean sheet here. So Roberto Martinez and lowly Wigan have managed to buck the trend. Also ahead this weekend, Manchester City Barnsley, the Flitcroft family connection, as Barnsley head to Manchester City. Big ask for them though. It's been a great cup tournament for them so far. It does look a bridge too far, but then stranger things have happened. Victor Anichebe will be on for the second half. No surprise in that. We've been trying to second guess David Moyes here, Robbie, while we were at the break in terms of what he might do. We were certain this man would come on. They need goals. And on he is going to come. It looks like he might be the only change.
Yeah, we weren't quite sure of who might go off though, and does he play two strikers, or is it just a striker for a striker, and Jelavic, is he the one that's come out? We'll see, but you'd think now at 3-0 down, he could probably do with two strikers.
Our other suggestion, for what it's worth, from our point of view, was maybe Phil Neville and maybe dropping Fellaini a little deeper. We'll wait and see what the Everton manager is up his sleeve. He's got to come up with something. And this is so interesting, isn't it? Because David Moyes, the contract issue, he said he's going to take his time, see how they finish the season. If they go out here on home soil to Wigan, how damaging might it be? And what effect that might have on Moyes' ultimate decision here.
Yeah, his decision. Maybe some of the other clubs feel about bringing him in as their new manager. Of course, a lot of talk about David Moyes going to one of the big clubs, the big clubs in England, because he's done such a good job, and he has over the years at Everton Football Club. But this is a high-profile game, the FA Cup quarter-final. Kind of embarrassing that first 45 minutes, but let's just see what he's made of. Let's see what he can do, how he can change things, how he can motivate the team. Of all the games, of all the days for his team to have an off day, this probably is the last one, because their league campaign has been great, but they want to win something. This man wants to win something with Everton. Quarterfinals at home against a struggling Premier League side. 3-0 down at half-time, really? Let's see what he can do in the second half.
And depending on the look of the draw, you'd have to say Everton might have looked at this and thought it could be prime for them this season. There's the possibility, of course, of getting either Millwall or Blackburn in the semi-finals. They meet tomorrow. But Victor Anichebe, pace and power. 7 goals, a player who's suffered more than most with injuries. Scored in the drawn game at Oldham. in the last round. Jelavic is certainly still out there, Pinar as well, Morales. I think we may be right. I think it may have been Phil Neville to go. Confirmation of that. So Morales is still out there. We expect Fellaini to drop a little bit deeper. And I need to be on that. So the manager rolls the dice at half-time. He really had to, David Moyes. They need a reaction. They need a response. They certainly need the next goal. And you'd have to say they need it pretty quickly. 3 goals in less than 3.5 minutes for Wigan in that first half, in and around the half-hour mark. And left Everton shell-shocked, and you'd have to say, given how it went beyond that, happy to get in 3-0 down at half-time. Muka had to put off a very good save. Maloney had earlier in the game hit the post. All the chances really came Wigan's way. There was a half chance for Jelavic in the first half that Joel Robles pulled off a save. You'd expect him to. But what now in the second 45 minutes at Goodison? Fascinating second period lies ahead of us here. Final checks from our referee Kevin Friend. Pinar and Jelavic over the ball. And here we go then. Supporters find their voice again. They need their team to find something on the pitch as Distan launches one forward. Jelavic to climb and win. Maloney back there defending, on by McCarthy for Wigan. Here's Pinar. Works it out to the left-hand side, Baines. Chased down by Miyachi. Sharner again well positioned to head away.
And there you go. Very direct start from Everton. Old school 4-4-2 now from them. Get the ball forward to the 2 strikers, maybe get it wide as well. Swing crosses in and we'll take it from there.
Here's Morales. Pinar looking for the ball in behind, read by Miyachi. An Arsenal man to play it away. He's found Kone. Figueroa will get there. Here's Beausejour. He's done well to take it under control. Inside to Kone. Wigan must be thinking that a fourth will seal it here. Kone from distance, never really troubling Muka.
He's done well, hasn't he, Una Kone? He really has. Talk about lone striker, just doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Take care of the ball, he's run into channels, he's been aggressive. But for the most part, he's kept possession for his team, and has to be applauded.
Great pickup by Wigan this season. Roberto Martinez really rates him as well. He said he's got a great attitude. He's off with the African Cup of Nations. More disappointment for the Ivory Coast. He's dealt with that. Couldn't get on that ball forward, away by Distan, but a Wigan throw it. First 10-15 minutes here now, so important if Wigan can keep their goal intact.
It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating, because can Wigan continue playing the same style? Can they get the ball down and play around this pressure? Because there's no question, already we've seen it in the first 2 minutes, that Everton are a lot more aggressive without the ball, trying to close down, stop Wigan from enjoying the game too much. But can they continue to do it? That's what's going to be very interesting.
And this is not what they want. Players getting involved with the referee again. Osman, who's got the armbands. Explanation being given to him.
Just a little bit aggressive. Doesn't need to have his arms so high. Doesn't need to just shove it in the face of Kone there.
He's got that in his game, hasn't he, Heitinga? Plays right on the edge. Very famous red card in his career in the World Cup final. Sharner has managed to rescue it.
I just laughing, because even a bad touch there gets in between 2 Everton players. Just one of those days, isn't it?
And again, it's risky from Figueroa, but he's gotten away with it. Given away by Maloney. Here's Morales. And Maloney getting there. Looking to redeem his error. Never timed it, never getting there on time. And it's got to be a card here, surely, for Sean Maloney.
Absolutely clear-cut yellow card there for Sean Maloney, and almost doing a Phil Neville with the pass there, giving it away in a bad area.
And the big difference is it didn't result in a goal, at least directly. But they do have this set-piece opportunity now, which We've got a few clustered around. Leighton Baines, the left-footed option. Jelavic wants to have a look as well. I think he's being ushered away from it.
Yeah, just all these little details have just got to be perfect. Line that wall up, just check it again. Because this guy is not bad from set pieces. Long way out, kind of maximum range really for a direct shot at goal. Osman, Leighton Baines lining it up.
The rain has been falling though. Tricky conditions for a goalkeeper. If Baines can get this right, here we go. He flashes it in and Robles watched it all the way and had to hold on there. Well, one of these young Spanish goalkeepers was behind David De Gea at Atletico. Went out last season on loan to Rayo Vallecano. The manager has trusted him this season in the FA Cup. So far he hasn't disappointed him. Fellaini from distance. They're creating some opportunities, Everton. Now they need to start taking some.
Yeah, again, long ball up front, nodded back. Not sure where Jordi Gomez, we can see him right there. He's got to be closer to that ball. Also, James McCarthy, the two central midfield players, should be there to mop up that. Straight in the arms of Joel from that set piece from Leighton Baines. But it's really all about the fans. It's all about the atmosphere in this stadium. If the players can keep the fans in it, then it's going to be a very, very difficult 45 minutes for Wigan.
From Roberto Martinez's point of view, how does he approach this second half? Will he look at maybe stiffening things up? James McArthur, left out of the side today, would be a man he could look to if the tide starts to turn. A very attack-minded lineup out there. Gomez coming in today, justifying his inclusion with a fabulous third goal. Baines inside to Pienaar. Baines goes again. Gomez gets a toe in. Baines looking for an option. Morales provides him with one. Nice ball to Pienaar. Anichebe back to goal. Back across goal. Fellaini looking to turn. And lots of bodies around him.
It's still better. It's still better from Everton though. Just starting to ask a few more questions. Not this time with the control of Fellaini, but the tempo's a lot higher for them now.
You could see the reaction on the replay there of Alcaraz, just looking for calm from his teammates. Sure they would have expected this start of the second half from Everton. Just have to say, defensively disciplined, resolute. Fellaini. Here's Anichebe. Good hold of play from the half-time arrival. Morales looking to join in. McCarthy. Kone easing out towards that far side again to find some space and to run at Heitinga here.
Good place to pick up the ball. Just sensible play from Aruna Kone. If it's tight and you're on the defensive, get out wide. That's where you're going to be able to receive the ball in a little bit of space and face forward.
Showing for it again, Kone. Eased out of it by Heitinga. Not happy with the accuracy of the throw in, Aruna Kone. Forward by Dista. Jelavic beaten by Alcaraz. Miachi. Here's Gomez. Nice little delicate ball inside from Maloney. Had a little look, saw where Kone was. It's a great take. And options here, he goes for Bosijua. And he'll shepherd it out of play for the corner.
Yeah, it might be a little different for Wigan in the second half. It might be more counter-attacking football, while the first half was, they dominated possession and territory, so it's a little different. They've got to be stronger at the back, and of course they've got to be willing to make forward runs when they do get possession and getting forward as well in support of Aruna Kone.
Figueroa forward again, hunting his second of the game. Poor delivery, away by Jelavic. McCarthy sitting back on halfway. Lifts it forward right down the middle. Everton had advanced. Wigan had to retreat. And it's safely through from an Everton point of view to Muka. Heitinga to bring it forward. And again, it's the long ball lifted forward towards Anichebe and Jelavic.
A real test now at the back, isn't it, with those long balls, with the two strikers, Figueroa, Alcaraz and poor Sharna. They've got to have big games, they've got to be strong back there, win that first ball.
The boys just being advised by Kevin Friend that he's watching the clock here. Suspicion of handball, confirmed.
Absolutely, look at that, could have caught the ball. Very, very deliberate. Again, struggling, isn't he? You can just tell he's just not looking as sharp, as dangerous as he did last year. Jelavic, again, a good signing. Glasgow Rangers, of course, but this season he's just found it not as easy.
Needs a goal, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does need a goal.
We mentioned it in the first half. Morales was asked by the manager to provide more, and he has done. Same conversation was including Jelavic. Manager asked for more in terms of a goal-scoring output from him. He hasn't really managed to respond to that. Figueroa, big ball forward for Kone. Dealt with by Distan. Here's Osman. Skipping across the turf. Morales slides under his studs.
I said it was interesting because Wigan are not so good. A long ball up to Arona Kone is just, it's just harder. It's not the way that they play. Now, if there's real pressure from Everton, you might see that a few times, but Wigan, for me, have still got to find a way to get the ball down and try and pass it, because this pressure is going to continue now. Every time John Heitinger gets it, I think we know, for the most part, not this time, but for the most part, it's going to go up to those two strikers.
Just the second time these two clubs have met in the FA Cup. Back in the fourth round in 1980, it was a 3-0 win for Everton. Bob Latchford and Brian Kidd amongst the goal scorers. Morales. Good, strong challenge. Emerson Boyce. Here's Maloney. Too quick for Fellaini, and now he's going to be booked as well.
Yeah. A little bit harsh out of Fellaini. Just like a simple trip foul for me. Sean Maloney, again, he's been excellent, hasn't he? Just clever play, composed play there. Just sneaks in between the two of them.
Sharner taking his time over this. Fingernails bitten to the quick amongst the Everton supports. Figueroa to tease one in, away by the diving Dista. Bosijou. Done a good job down that left-hand side. Here's Maloney. And Figueroa. Pieces picked up by Maloney again. McCarthy. Very economical in possession. Alcaraz's touch was heavy. Jelavic couldn't capitalise. Jordi Gomez. Miachi looking for the give and go.
Good play, strong play, Leighton Baines. He tracks that little 1-2 very well, gets his body in between the player and the ball, protects it.
Hooked away by Alcaraz. For a player making his first start since August 28th, he really hasn't been unduly tested, has he? Sylvain Dista. Morales shows for it. Distan again to hoist it into the penalty area. Jelavic to climb, beaten by Sharna. Now Osman. Looks to the right and Coleman. Fellaini back to Coleman again. Chance to measure across here. Skims off McCarthy and behind.
That's better play. Developed in the wide areas. And try to feed the ball into centre again. Here's a short corner.
Morales on the run around, looking to measure it. Kone back there doing his bit defensively. Roberto Martinez, I'm sure, will be having one little look at the clock or at his watch. ticking towards the hour mark now. Still their goal intact. Baines with the outswinger. Morales looking for the touch on. First to it is Osman. Here's Dista. Never really looked comfortable, did he? Disjointed. No real rhythm about Everton today.
I think the approach in the second half is what we expected to see in the first half, and that's probably what's disappointed the fans so much, is that, you know, I keep going back to an ex-manager of mine, Lenny Lawrence, who used to say to me, and the team for that matter, 5% less effort would mean 50% less effective, and that's been the case for Everton. They just were off pace a little bit, and it really affected them.
Seamus Coleman to the end line. And another Everton corner to come, conceded by Figueroa. Kane rushing back into his own penalty area again. As the Everton blue bodies rumble forward. Morales to put it in, Jelavic to climb. It looked like he was getting to the pitch of that. Pressure applied though. Got a Wigan man down. Looks like it's Figueroa. Referee's going to have a look. Certainly a collision with Jelavic.
He's on a standing jump, isn't he? Figueroa knows the challenge is going to come in. With the arm, I think, and then the head of Jelavic on the back of his head there.
And it's certainly not a question of gamesmanship, of time wasting here from Figueroa. He bore the brunt of that.
Yeah, that's why the referee was good there. And Kevin Friend, if there's a head injury, just stop the game. It's the right thing to do straight away.
Might be a little bit groggy here, Figueroa, but he's back on his feet. He's going to have to go off here now, and having received attention, just a little bit of reorganising for Wigan to do here on the pitch. Bosajura just for the moment back to an orthodox left-back position. Pino. Figueroa wave back on. Osman to put it in. Sharner and Alcaraz that time. And that central defensive three. Good communication so far between them. They've dealt with Jelavic, and they're now in each be pretty well so far.
Also, the pattern of the game now means that Wigan, for the most part, for the largest part, are going to be five back there. It's going to be a defensive line of five. That's hard for anybody to break down, particularly when they're deep. There's no space in behind them.
You could see the hunger there as well, as Alcaraz and Sharner were knocking each other out of the way to get to the ball first. And looking devoid of ideas, Everton. It's the long ball up to Jelavic and Anichebe for most of this second half so far. Here we go again. A free header for Alcaraz. Maloney protects it well. McCarthy to play it away, looking for Miyachi. Osman. Right in the eye, Coleman. Just to show to feet and then peel in behind. Nice touch from Jelavic. Coleman again. Bosajura strong. Goal kick.
Yeah, there's your left wing back. Jean Bosajura just doing his job, just tracking his fullback, Seamus Coleman, whoever's on that side. Of course, Kevin Morales as well, might be the highest player, but he's sitting here very nicely. Very warming story, wasn't it? Did you read the story about Dave Whelan played an FA Cup final in 1960, I think it was, wasn't it? Went off with a bad broken leg, and it's still emotional to this day, telling the story yesterday to the media in England, and he would absolutely love a trip back to Wembley. I guess semi-final, of course, the final will be great as well for him and the team.
Here's Kone. Many of these Wigan supporters, I guess, would be of a dual card nature as well. The rugby league side has served them well over the years. Could there be a Wembley appearance for their football team as well?
Good football right there from Wigan. It really was. Combination with the two players. That's a good ball from McCarthy. And he just tries to reverse it back to him here. He's given the eyes, but he knows where he wants to go. It's just cut out there from Johnny Heitinger, gets in the way.
And Boyce sure himself to take. And lots of traffic in front of Muka again caused problems with the Figueroa goal, the first goal of the game. Here we go again. Deep to the back post, Alcaraz against Fellaini. Oh, and Fellaini's given it away. Here's Figueroa again on his left foot, was always going to have a go there. And sloppy from Fellaini. There have been too many moments like that from Everton today. Fellaini forward, he's given it away, and the hands thrown up in despair and desperation.
Hasn't he been poor? Hasn't he been poor?
Nice ball from McCarthy. The race is on here. Muka with a good starting position. He gets there ahead of Miyachi.
Again, just starting to see the atmosphere turn a little bit in the stadium. Fellaini, of course, this is never a problem. Strikes a hand there of Morales, but knows nothing about it.
No appeals from the Wigan players either. McCarthy neat and tidy again. Emerson Boyce. And settle for that. And all of a sudden, as we said in the second half, you look at the clock, 20 minutes gone. Darren Gibson about to be thrown into the fray. Maloney. Little disguised ball inside to Miyachi, tried to find a return. Jelavic muscled off it by Figueroa. Here's Alcaraz. Boyce. Miyachi misplaced. Morales. Whips it forward, and Ichibi. Well read by Alcaraz. Here's Osman. Every misplaced pass, you can sense the frustration of the Everton supporters. Kone at pace. Pino there to help out Heitinger.
Again, just watching Everton, you know, and just seeing some of the football they're playing. It's kind of battling football. They're playing percentage passes up to strikers, where Jelavic there, just in the last couple of minutes, he's struggling to get control of the ball. You know, they should be better than that. It's a big substitution right here.
And off goes their leading scorer, 12-goal Marouane Fellaini off, and Darren Gibson to come on to try and establish something in that midfield sector. You have to think, if you're an opposition manager, figuring out how to deal with Fellaini is a big part of figuring out how to deal with Everton, and he's hardly been a factor in the game today, and now he's off.
He's off now, and of course there's talk about him maybe moving on, and his attitude in the game didn't look very good. Of course, you saw him give the ball away there and just stand still and almost look at himself, and that's not what the fans want. If you make a mistake, then get it, you know, try your hardest to get it back again. His work ethic's been poor, and his general passing was just not good enough.
Morales. That looked a little bit better until Alcaraz stepped in again. I think he's starting to enjoy his return to first team action. A couple of substitute appearances, and now a start for Antolin Alcaraz, whose season has been wrecked up to this point by a long-standing groin injury. Rescued by Ichibi, who never give it up. Swung in by Coleman, Jelavic back post. And again, he had a body either side. Phil Neville barking out encouraging words from his position now in the game, and that's on the bench down below. Gomez. It's an early ball in, looking for Maloney. Nice idea, not quite the execution. Less than a quarter of the game remaining. Is there any way back for Everton? Doesn't look likely at the moment, does it? Struggling to create chances. McCarthy had to slide in there. Here's Charlotte. And Boyce. And this is where Wigan, sticking to their principles, can play their passing game, kill the clock a little bit, and draw silly free kicks like that one conceded by Pienaar.
Yeah, you've got to be brave to do this. You know, away from home, to have the confidence to take the ball back in areas that could be dangerous if you give the ball away again. Look at this football from them. Very impressive.
All comes from the manager, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is the way he wanted his side to play all along. And they were in some fraught situations in the last few seasons, but when you saw other teams who were down there resort to route one, resort to get the ball in the box and try and work off that, Wigan never did that. And from a purist point of view, it was always good, I guess, in a way, to see them stay up, because they stuck to what they did. They were brave, and they did that.
Yeah, I like to see that. I really do. And I think there's been a knock-on effect. I think you've seen some of the teams now come from the Championship and try and play football. And of course, Swansea City have been a remarkable example of that. It's not all about now in the Premier League you have to play percentage long ball football to stay up.
And look at Leon Osman here. He's shouting at Leighton Baines that he shouldn't have put the ball out. It's an injury for Miyachi, but he's off the pitch. It's not a head injury. Everton entitled to play on.
Yeah, strong challenge there from Kevin Morales. There goes right through the player as well. The player that's been out, had his injury issues this season.
And Miyachi came on for the injured Callum McManaman in the first half with problems of his own here. For now, Everton playing against 10 men. Easy to say it, Robbie, I guess, when you see the scoreline at the moment, but from a Wigan point of view, to lose 4-0 against Liverpool might just have refocused them defensively as well in terms of what they had to do today. Morales away by Boyce.
Oh yeah, you still can't ignore where they are in the Premier League and what their weaknesses have been. What we're saying is this has just been a fantastic individual one-off game performance so far, by the way, because there's still plenty of football to be played here.
In by Baines, great defensive header by Figueroa this time. And Gomez happy to just launch it long, give Kone something to fight for. And fight for it he will with Heitinga. And he's on it, Kone. Took 3 Everton men in the end to win the ball back. Pienaar out to the left-hand side, time and space for Baines, who'll go for goal himself, and watched all the way by Robles.
Well, at least it's a shot. At least it's a shot on target from Everton. I think that's about 2. I think his, of course, Leighton Baines' free kicks worked the goalkeeper a little bit.
He's still working on Miyachi here. It might be decision time for Roberto Martinez. Now James MacArthur in. Figured he'd play a part in this game. Didn't get to start it. But defensively, that will stiffen them up. Might not have been the plan. I'm sure he'd have liked to have kept Miyachi out there. With the substitute having to be substituted here. Good player to bring on though, James MacArthur. Slotting alongside his usual partner McCarthy in there. Stephen Pienaar. At stoppage time, not much more than 20 minutes for Everton to rescue this, and quite a rescue act it would be from this point. And Ichibi. MacArthur straight into it, first involvement, a positive one. And Luca's come a long way here, Kone closing him down. And clearance, fortunately from Luca's point of view, falls to Darren Gibson. Sharner wants his goalkeeper to come. Offside, Leighton Baines, and let the inquest begin. Sharner never one to shy away from voicing his opinion. And Jelavic, he's been at this all game now. It might be a wise decision for one of his teammates to just pull him away from the referee here.
Yeah, the ball is hooked across. Looked like he was okay, Leighton Baines, wasn't it? Sharner wants his goalkeeper Jarl to come out and take that ball, take control anyway.
The offside was given against Jelavic, which is what he seems to be complaining about. This is so disappointing for Miyachi, who's really struggled with injuries this season. Maybe a worse injury than we initially thought it was.
Yeah, and when you see the challenge days, you know, you talk about Premier League refereeing different to European refereeing. That was, you know, could have been seen as not excessive force, but certainly reckless in its nature. And it's allowed pretty much in the Premier League. And when, you know, we see teams from England go in the Champions League, we're sometimes surprised at some of the challenges that's given. That was kind of excessive, that tackle. It didn't need to be as aggressive as that. It goes through the ball and the player.
Morales offside here. Won't count.
Let's take a look here. Absolutely, just a yard offside there, Morales, as he takes the ball and drives forward. Nice finish at the end of it. He didn't know that it was offside.
Kone. Bosajur. Have they weathered the Everton storm? The best that Everton can throw at them today. It's 15 minutes of normal time remaining. Emerson Boyce. Here goes Baines. It's off MacArthur. Morales had to be well timed. That by Alcaraz, and was.
What a game he's had, by the way. Antonin Alcaraz, long time out. Difficult game, physical game away at Everton. Fine so far.
Morales to whip it in. Beyond everyone. How difficult is it going to be to get over this one? Ross Barkley just recently arrived back from a loan spell at Leeds. Looks like he'll be the final change for David Moyes today. Away by Alcaraz again. And from Wigan's point of view, if it is to be the victory here, and it looks very likely now, what a boost this could be in their battle to avoid the drop. They won't play again until March 17th, a home game against Newcastle, so plenty of time to bask in the glory of this, I reckon. It'll be a very positive training ground, a very positive dressing room.
Yeah, I guess my own personal experience is a little different to that. We got to a cup final back in '97 and we were still relegated from the Premier League, so of course the focus will be after this game, but as you mentioned, there's plenty of time to recover from it. But I mean, it's great to be around the club, around the training ground when you're doing well in a cup, and it has to boost the group of players for the rest of the season as well.
And look at what they've got left beyond this in terms of their bid to avoid the drop. Home games, as we said, against Newcastle, also Norwich, Swansea, Tottenham and Aston Villa. Away games at QPR, West Ham, West Brom and Arsenal. Not the most forbidding fixture list of the sides down there.
You know, they have experience at it now, don't they, of course. Roberto Martinez has done the job and he's kept the team up many times, and they're in the same situation this year. Of course, you watch this game and you're thinking, you know, how are they down there to begin with the football that they've been playing? But it is going to be a battle now to the end of the season to stay in the Premier League. Again, poor play from Everton, just not good enough. They're not showing their quality. Plenty of energy and enthusiasm in the second half, but just not enough guile, not enough style, technique. Sixth in the Premier League from Everton, and very disappointing.
And Kevin Morales off, Ross Barkley on. But just from Everton's point of view then, this looks beyond them. So, I mean, what's the best they can hope for to the end of the season? It looks like it might be the Europa League. Their home league fixtures to come are pretty decent against sides in the lower reaches perhaps, but they've got 5 away games at Tottenham, Arsenal, Sunderland, Liverpool and Chelsea. So difficult, those away fixtures that remain for David Moyes and Everton.
Well, he's got to keep them together. He's got to keep them, because they could slip out of the Europa League spots as well. This is such a a body blow to them that the manager's going to earn all his money now just to make sure that they do finish strongly, because it has been, you know, a good season for Everton. They got off to a good start. Everybody thought that they could be challenging in the top 4 this year, and their form has just dropped off a little bit right now. But this is just so disappointing, where it really is perfectly set up. I wonder if the team, the club, maybe just a little bit complacent about this game. You know, this is a winnable game, semi-final at Wembley Stadium with the FA Cup, and just did not play well, didn't start the game well with the right energy, application, and Wigan certainly did.
Damage done in the first half to devastating effect by Wigan. 3 goals in less than 3.5 minutes, and Everton have never recovered from that. Forward to Gomez, one of the goal scorers.
Yeah, he's out of the central midfield area now. James McArthur, and of course substitute James McArthur are taking those 2 spots. And Jordi Gomez just moved a little bit to the left-hand side of midfield.
Here's Barkley, looking to find that yard of space. Good strength from Figueroa again. Barkley still battling for it. Leon Osman. James McCarthy quickly converges on him. Famous chant of "We're going to Wembley." The 2,000 travelling Wigan supporters are so happy to be singing it today, and with the luck of the draw, and that will be the next thing, of course, won't it? You'll want to avoid fancy Manchester City to go through against Barnsley. You'll want to avoid either Manchester United or Chelsea. With respect to Millwall and Blackburn, that's the side you want to be on. Robles under pressure from Jelavic, deals with it well. Header won by Jordi Gomez, and here's McCarthy. Many feeling that it might be his last season as a Wigan player, that he might be moving on.
Very close to getting in behind here. Actually good recovery, strong defending. Figueroa there, just in recovery. Just thought he might lunge in there as well with his left foot. He didn't. Could have been a trip and a penalty.
Not impossible to pick a substandard performance from any Wigan player out there today.
Yeah, equally, it's hard to pick out a good performance from Everton. I mean, nobody really has done their job. Leighton Baines, I guess, at left back, defended quite well. He's had a couple of shots on target. He's done his job, I suppose, but everybody else, very poor.
Well, the post-mortem will be very, very interesting indeed. It's carried a long way through. One of those days where the bounce of the ball hasn't even gone Everton's way. Luka advancing from his penalty area again. Not many options.
Also, if you're David Moyes in the post-match interview, I don't know what you can say. I mean,
he's going to have to hold his hands up, isn't he, and say beaten by the better team today.
Yeah, no complaints. That's the sort of things he should say. My team just didn't perform, didn't play.
Usually a manager to protect his players, and you just wonder, could today be a day where he can't really defend the indefensible? Coleman forward to Osman. Now Baines. Disappointing day against the club where he made over 160 appearances, played in a League Cup final for Wigan. Barkley. Now Gibson. Further right to Coleman on the stretch, struggling to maintain possession for his side. Curl forward by Bosajur to the impressive Konek. And he was gone there, and I think Heitinga knew it. Forced to grab him, forced to get a hold of his shirt.
Yeah, be lucky to get away without a yellow card here, John Heitinga. I think he knows what he's doing there, just pulls the strike up. Very, very impressive strike as well. I really have liked what I've seen from Aruna Konek. Watched him play in La Liga for Sevilla many times, and you always wonder how players would stack up in the Premier League. He has done very well at Wigan.
I think he might be getting a rest in a few minutes' time. Franco Di Santo. Looks like he might be working on several of those outer layers that he's currently sporting. Osman for Anichebe. Jelavic on the penalty spot. There's the ball in. Oh, it's gone all the way through. Chance for Barkley. Plenty of power, direction lacking, and the chance is gone.
Well, that's it. That's a chance. That's a goal-scoring opportunity. 84th minute of the game at Goodison Park. Everton against a team that lie in 17th position. Comes across it. It's not a great chance, but it is a chance to score a goal.
There's Gibson. Barkley again eager to make an impact. He's overcooked that one to Baines.
Just the quality has been so surprisingly bad from Everton. No excuses. Wigan have passed the ball very well. When you think about, we've talked about David Moyes' kind of stature after this game. What about Roberto Martinez again? You know, a club that has a very low salary to try and keep him in the Premier League, and now it looks like he's got his team to the semi-final of the FA Cup. I'm sure again bigger teams, with all due respect, are going to be interested in the services of Martinez.
It's going to be a strange day for Wigan, because there is every chance, it's most likely that they'll end up at the end of the day in the FA Cup semi-finals, but back in the relegation zone as well, because the two sides directly below them, Reading and Aston Villa. Reading second bottom, Aston Villa third bottom, are about to meet in the Premier League. And some big games in that regard around today. Problem for Heitinga, problem for Jordi Gomez as well.
What a good goal it was, wasn't it, his goal? Just loved it. Just loved that little bit of class, really. It's been lacking from any of the Everton players. Edge of the box, just curved it in there. Again, another strong tackle. The whole time, this time from Johnny Heitinga. Nothing wrong with that, just a little bit of a collision of knees afterwards.
And Jordi Gomez, who Roberto Martinez would have known, of course, in their Swansea days. You have to say it was a positive move to select him as well today. He's not been a regular starter, certainly in terms of the league, but given the chance today, MacArthur left on the bench. Not alone has he done his bit going forward, as you would expect, Jordi Gomez, but defensively as well. Pienaar. Another misplaced pass from an Everton player. Here's Gomez, cleverly lets it run beyond him, and taken down by Darren Gibson.
I mean, I'm just seeing football from players that can do miles better. Stephen Pienaar, again, and it's not just him. There's so many Everton players that just given bad square passes, giving the ball away too easily. Decision making, as much as anything else, has just been off.
In hindsight, you can say it's an issue that's been there from the start. They came out and we were expecting more from them, weren't we, in terms of urgency, in terms of a pattern, a style of play. It just never materialised for Everton today, and Wigan have taken ruthless advantage. Common knowledge was it was to be Everton's day. They had home advantage, just one defeat here all season. Chelsea the victors, and as we said, Swansea the only visiting side to keep a clean sheet. All the statistics, all the history, 9-game unbeaten run against Wigan, it was all in their favour.
Just maybe just complacency, think it was just going to come automatically. You know, players and teams, you know, do succumb to bad form, and right now, you know, a lot of the players are in bad form. Fellaini was on fire at the start. And that's bad performances, bad atmospheres. And you see now empty seats in the stands as well. So just an awful day for Everton Football Club.
In full position towards the end of the calendar year 2012, where they were certainly in the hunt for a Champions League spot, a very difficult side to beat. Where they were progressing in the Cup, and many were thinking maybe this is the year in the FA Cup where they could do it, Everton. 2013 hasn't been as kind. It's been a struggle. And they are going to be eliminated from the FA Cup with a whimper here.
In terms of injuries, they haven't got that many. Of course, the goalkeeper Tim Howard, Phil Jagielka, important players, granted, but everybody else is fine. All the creative players, the attacking players, that hasn't been an excuse for them.
And in terms of the goals conceded, you can't really point the finger at Muka or Heitinga, who've come in for Howard and Jagielka. And there's that thing, isn't there? You talk about it when confidence is there, and Andre Villas-Boas has been talking about it with Tottenham. You want to play these games, and that confidence is infectious. I guess in a similar vein, if players aren't playing right, and that's something that can creep through a team as well. We've seen it with Everton today.
Yeah, infectious. And of course, what makes it doubly bad is that the fans see it. They sense it really early on, and the atmosphere certainly turned after the first, probably 5 or 10 minutes. It was quiet in there, with Wigan's confidence going through the roof as they got joy with possession of the football. So this guy's been good.
Here goes Kone, race on with Distan, who at the age of 35 is still pacey, and he needed to be there. Well, Kone's had an excellent shift up front, and maybe would have deserved a goal today. Wasn't to be, given away by Pinar again. Into stoppage time at the end of a chastening day for Everton. And another year set to pass without silverware.
I think also what we should talk about, and what will please Roberto Martinez, is the way that his team has defended. You know, that has been the main issue. You know, we saw some great football, sparkling football, good finishes in the first half. The second half has been defensive. 5 back there, 4 across midfield for the most part, 1 up front. They have done a very good job.
A nice moment this from Angola Bar, the 20-year-old Spaniard, to come on for Alcaraz, who I'm sure will get a massive ovation from not just the supporters but the bench and his manager. He's been out of the game for so long, Alcaraz, first start since the end of August, and he was immense today.
Absolutely immense. I'm surprised he lasted so long. Golabart now will go in. Job done, game 1 through to the semi-final at Wembley Stadium. Great times for Wigan.
We've been a little bit disappointed, we've been left out today. Here's Osman looking for a consolation, and maybe now, but not even now. Headed wide by Seamus Coleman. I think they'd accept the referee blowing it up now at this stage, Everton.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Again, just gets free at the back post. Good save from the goalkeeper, and a miscued header. Everybody just misses that ball watching it. He's done his job there, hitting the target. Nice save. Poor header.
What a difference a week can make. A 4-0 thumping at the hands of Liverpool, where they were ripped apart. And they go to Goodison Park to take on the other of the Merseyside sides. And win a place for the first time in their history in the FA Cup semi-finals. Magnificent story.
I had the pleasure of talking to Roberto Martinez a couple of years ago, Des, around the World Cup time, and yeah, we talked about the system that he played, the tactics that he employs, and I gave him a lot of credit about the way that he played football, and he said that's the way we do it. There's times we're going to get crushed, we're going to get beat, and it did, and every season there has been awful results, but he believes in this way of playing over the course of 38 games in the Premier League is going to be enough to keep them in the top flight.
Based on this, it would be mystifying were they to go down this season, but as we said, results elsewhere today could well put them back in the drop zone. Surely this performance will give them the confidence to kick on from here. They just need to pick up a few points. But certainly you'd say there are at least 3 sides are worse off than Wigan in terms of what they can produce. Then again, they won't be counting any chickens. Here's Jelovic for an Everton side in the upper echelons of the Premier League, though you wouldn't guess it based on today's game.
Certainly not based on quality, and that really should be the main factor when you think about teams after, you know, a big chunk of the season's gone and they've done so well. You expect a lot more quality, just haven't seen it. They've looked like they are the team struggling at the bottom of the league, no confidence, throwing the ball into different situations on the hope that something good's going to happen.
Here's Pinar looking for a positive ending to the game, if nothing else. Leighton Baines skews it wide off the outside of his left boot.
Well, the players right now, trust me, just want to get off there, get in the shower, go home, stay at home tonight, no going around the Liverpool restaurants, going to get a little bit of stick from the local fans. I just want a quiet night in and try and forget about this.
And for Bill Kenwright, a disappointing day. And the hype certainly makes it all that more difficult to take now. Buzz in the city about Everton's FA Cup prospects this season, but they've been dashed in clinical fashion by a Wigan Athletics side who have played some brilliant football today, taken their chances when they've come, have defended so well, and are utterly deserving of this victory. Kevin Friend has had a look or two at the watch. We're into stoppage time and added time. A ground that is emptied rapidly. Or will it be the Everton boos to drown out the Wigan cheers at the end of this? A desperately disappointing day for the home side. And there is the reaction from those supporters who've remained to the final whistle. Roberto Martinez will be gracious in victory here. No real celebrations from him. His players will enjoy it though. What a magnificent day for Wigan into the FA Cup semi-finals for the first time in their history.
Yes, punters, welcome to the world of sporting bet.
At Sporting Bet, we live and breathe sports and racing. It's what we do, day in and day out. We put the punter first, providing top odds and unique promotions on a huge range of markets. And our cutting-edge technology means you can bet anywhere, anytime. So if you're into sports and racing as much as we are, go to sportingbet.com.au today, because there's no better bet than a sporting bet.
The 2013 World Baseball Classic continues from Tokyo, Japan, with live double elimination action from round 2. Monday on ESPN2.
Monday, earthquakes, Red Bulls, the MLS on ESPN2.
ESPN is the home court of college hoops. The regular season concludes with a full night of big games from the hardwood. It all begins in the Big 12, where Baylor must win to stay in the hunt for an NCAA tournament bid when they host Kansas. Later, we save the best for last. Duke against North Carolina in a marquee matchup from the ACC. Feel the magic of college basketball live Sunday on ESPN2.
The FA Cup continues on ESPN2 with more live matches from the 6th round proper. Today, Man City try to put an end to Barnsley's miracle run. And later tonight, Millwall host Blackburn Rovers. Followed by a classic from Old Trafford, Man United take on cup holders Chelsea. The FA Cup, live this weekend on ESPN2.
The champions return with live marquee clashes from the round of 16 decisive leg 2. On Wednesday, Schalke host Galatasaray.
Would you ever believe
with a ticket to the quarters at stake. Then Thursday, another live match as Malaga face Porto. The UEFA Champions League, round of 16, Wednesday and Thursday, exclusively live on ESPN2. Presented by Heineken.
Prior to the British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia, get your rugby on for one of the greatest international contests, the RBS Six Nations. 6 teams from 6 countries, including England, France, and Grand Slam winners Wales. 6 nations, 1 crown. RBS Six Nations Rugby, only on ESPN.
Welcome back to ESPN. Wigan Athletic are heading to Wembley in the FA Cup semi-finals after a stunning victory at Goodison Park today. The Robbie Mustoe, stunning and well-deserved, you'd have to say.
Absolutely, 2 sides of the coin. Played great football in the first half, defended very well in the second half. They can forget their Premiership woes for right now. They are going to Wembley in the semi-final. Fans are going to love it. First time in their history. Well done, Roberto Martinez and Wigan Athletic Football Club.
And for David Moyes, they'll have to regather themselves after this, but goals from Maynor Figueroa, Callum McManaman, the ex-Everton youth, And Jordi Gomez in a devastating 3.5-minute spell in the first half. Wigan into the semi-finals. Everton crash out. From Robbie Musto, myself, Des Curran, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. This has been an ESPN production, and for all the latest news, views and opinion, log on to espnfc.com. See you tomorrow, Manchester United, Chelsea.